Welcome at PASC23 on stage. This is the corner where we discuss the minisymposium, and I'm here now with James Willenbring and Jason Maassen. Thank you for coming. Can you tell us about your minisymposium?
Sure. So our symposium was focused on issues beyond the Code Complete book, the popular book. So we looked at things like human factors and tools in creating code, and some of the things that maybe aren't the first thing that you think about, like human interactions and how people react to different situations and incentives for, reserving time on machines and how these things play out in a human world.
So after the discussions, the presentations, what are the take-home messages?
Yeah, so I guess the main take-home message is that actually the human factor is getting more and more important, especially for the long-term sustainability of the code. So it's not just about the development, it's actually about getting your team set up right, about taking the human factor into account, basically. And it's something we can no longer ignore if you want our software to be used in the long term.
After the PASC conference will be over, what are the next steps? Do you have already a plan on how to follow up?
We talked a lot about the coming time. We talked a lot about the exascale computing project and what comes after that and how to approach sustainability efforts in software. And there's a lot that's unknown, but we do know that we're going to have to continue to work together a lot and work together across larger scales. The exascale computing project was a US project, but really in order to build a community that can support research across the globe, we are going to have to look out at different ways to allow software applications to have confidence in things like software libraries that they build on top of, regardless of where those are built. That's going to require more sophisticated testing strategies and more explicit, maybe not guarantees, but more explicit longer-term support for the things that people are depending on in their work. Because with how advanced different platforms have gotten in the previous years, it's virtually impossible for an application team to develop all of the software that they depend on.
So the very final question for the two of you is, what did you enjoy most of the PASC conference?
Oh, wow.
Or is there a thing that you like particularly?
So what I really enjoyed is the diversity in subjects that were actually discussed, right? So it really went from really complicated math all the way to the human aspect of developing code and how to handle this. And I think that's very inspirational. So
very good. Thank you. James?
Similarly, I got an opportunity to speak to a lot more diverse population of people than I ever have. This is my first time overseas in Europe. I'm from the United States. And just having a little bit of different perspective about what some of their constraints are, how their funding models work, some of the similar problems that we see in trying to build and maintain software stacks was pretty eye-opening.
Thank you very much, both of you, and thank you all.